and I'm an artist. I couldn't even just express myself through painting or drawing. I was just there. It was just ile flat iko tu hivi flat tu hivi. Yeah, so it was like that.
Yani itoke tu inishe, but the first thing mi uomba Mungu, praying. Ama nitoke niende out nikatembee, yani kwa relative, nitoke tu ndani ya nyumba. Because the more unakaa peke yako and then you start thinking and then overthinking.
Some of you have said that kuna tofauti ya stress na depression.
Yeah.
And kulingana na vile ambavyo mmesema, suicide is at the extreme end.
Yes.
But then nini kinafanyika hapa katikati? How can you tell the difference between you being stressed about something and you being depressed? Where do we draw the line?
Okay. Because if you don't solve that specific situation that's stressing you out, it will eventually lead to what? Depression. So I don't think I've like reached to the end of the rope of depression. I don't think so. I've never.
What led to depression is I couldn't talk to anyone about it. I couldn't tell my sister, I couldn't tell my mother, I couldn't tell anyone, so it was me battling my own battle. And if I could have said, actually I could have gotten help.
Hi guys, welcome to another session of the Nivishe Chat Corner. My name is Ali and I'm your host today. Today we want to talk about depression. But before we start, please remember to wear your mask and sanitize. So, what is depression? Depression Kiswahili ni nini?
Yeah, depression kwa Kiswahili kwa vile mimi najua ni msongamano wa mawazo, overthinking, someone who is overthinking. Yeah, vile mimi najua.
Well, depression let's say ni something in a cause ukuwe na loss of interest in doing a lot of activities in your daily activities or in your life. Inafanya you have loss of interest in carrying out different stuff that you're supposed to carry on for you to move forward.
Oh, to me, I can say depression in Swahili.
However you can express it best.
I think it is suppressed feelings caused by things that one is not ready to talk about. So they're just feelings that you don't want to let out. So they're imekaa kule ndani, imejijaza, and then you're starting to feel out of place, you're not comfortable, you don't talk with friends. Yeah, and it can lead to mental challenges, mental illness.
Like it can lead to suicidal thoughts. You can overthinking and then you really think about suicidal thoughts and then you kujua something like that. Yeah.
Okay. For me, depression is just another level of stress. Another level of stress. There is a stress which is not really permanent. It's like for 1 week there's a stress. Then okay, 2 weeks, okay, 3 weeks, a month, years, depression. So that's
it's mainly linked to the mental illnesses. It's like a mental illness.
Sasa niko na swali. How do you know that either someone around you is depressed ama wewe mwenyewe you're depressed?
Okay, to me, I've seen some people that I don't know if they are depressed or what, but unakuta mtu anajitenga. When you sit with some people, unakuta mtu mmoja tu hayuko social na watu, she's always alone. Ama he's always alone. Ako tu peke yake, hapendi kuongea, she's not happy at all.
Withdrawn. She's really withdrawn.
And I think self-esteem yake imeshuka chini. That I think someone is depressed ama kuna stress vitu kama hiyo. Yeah.
To me, I think depression is not really easy to know, because you can have someone who's really depressed, but that is the person who is loudest, the happiest in the crowd, the person who is,
Yeah.
But they don't want to. Hautaki kujiita mkutano. I can use that term.
Yeah.
Unakimbia too. You don't want to like sit. Which term can I use?
I think it tends to go both ways. You can have the facade of not showing it at all, but sometimes you can tell the symptoms. You can just tell huyu mtu kuna venye ako depressed. If you are keen to to know, or you're keen to see the signs that that person is displaying. Because sometimes you can display those signs of depression, you can't even tell if you have it. Maybe you can be around maybe counseling psychologists or professionals who can easily tell the signs, and yet wewe mwenyewe hauoni. Ama hiyo facade yenye umevaa, mtu can easily tell this girl or this person is wearing this facade because there's something she's going through and she's putting it up as a defense.
And another thing is some people, if they are depressed, unakuta wanakula sana, they eat a lot, and wengine hawana appetite. So they want to kuna ile tunajiamba ile naye anapenda kula, you don't know what's going on with her or him. No, like appetite yake imeshuka, as not our watu, even me. Unajua singine nikiwa na stress, ninafikiria sana, appetite yangu inaisha. I don't eat at evil. So yeah,
which is again different with everyone. Kuna wenye wanakula sana, kuna wenye hawakuli sana.
Yeah, it's true. Like for me, if I'm depressed, I usually eat a lot. I gain weight. So someone may think like because you've lost weight, you are depressed.
Yes.
Kumbe, like for me, it happens like I gain weight. Yeah. So it's different with everyone. Yeah. So I for me, I can just say how to know if someone is depressed. They're not like, I can't say they're not normal. That they don't do the things the way they usually do.
Yeah.
And just tell maybe alikuwa anaamka 6 a.m. maybe ameongeza mpaka sana anaamka 10 a.m. So yeah, just a change. Is that those changes in your work?
But CRT, we have certain fixed signs of depressions.
It varies with different people. Yeah. And again, depending on different circumstances, like what made you to be in that specific mood, or what made you change into that. Yeah.
Na sasa, how do you, wajua sasa kuna upande, I remember Aisha saying that maybe someone is trying to escape. Mtu ambaye alikuwa ametulia, sasa hivi unamwona ni mchangamfu, he's trying to engage people, he's out there. Alafu there's this one side in you, someone ameji-isolate.
Yeah.
Alafu kuna upande mmoja ambao when you're depressed, you prefer eating. And then we have another side where someone decides not to eat.
Yeah.
So when can you tell kwamba huyu mtu ama mimi mwenyewe niko depressed?
So ni mtu mwenyewe, I think. Kwa sababu kimimi yani vile naona I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a counselor, but I think our counselor and psychologist wanaweza kumjua mtu.
Ndio.
Kimimi ambaye ni kusomea na kujua. Kimimi I think kuna vitu kama nitakuja kujua kwamba yule mbona anapenda kujitenga. Sasa hapo nitajua. Sasa huyu vile Aisha amesema that they are happy always, ni kelele ni. Hapo si nitajua huyu hakuna kitu ambaye. Na psychologist or a counselor anajua that huyu mtu vile ako hyper, I think ako hyper, kuna kitu inamhapenia. So to me I will not think about kuna shida about mental illness, not, but a person ule ambaye atakuwa amejitenga, self esteem yake iko chini, hajikubali, you see, hapo mimi ndo nitagundua, because naona hiyo negative pattern. Yes, those changes. Unaona hiyo ni kujua, ni si rahisi kwa wale ambao wako in a positive way. Yeah.
But when it comes to yourself, like you yourself noticing that you're depressed, I think number one, you'll notice that your routine has changed. Routine yako ita change, like the way you mentioned if you're an early person, maybe you're used to waking up at 5 or at 6 or on time, unajipata you start working late, or you start waking up at late hours, or you even sleep late. Your sleeping cycle changes, your eating cycle changes, everything about you starts changing on a negative side, not exactly on a positive side. Maybe from that you can easy tell for yourself, maybe I'm depressed. Because depression can be easily confused with other things.
Yeah.
Because unaweza fikiria, there's a lot of people who walk out there, they're saying they're depressed. Why? Because there's change in routine, or they feel that they're withdrawn or something. So it's just stress.
But I think
it's not
people
exactly,
they don't know.
They don't know. They exactly don't know.
Wajua wanajua that a mental illness person ni yule ambaye ni mwenda wazimu. You see those things. Yeah. So unakuta watu wengi hawajijui that they are going wanapitia mambo kwa mwili yao tu, that stress, overthinking, anxiety, wasiwasi, mpaka ikuje depression, mpaka ikuje suicidal thoughts, mpaka sasa watu huwa hawajijui mpaka sasa ile ikijulikana labda imefika mpaka suicidal thoughts, anataka kujiua. You see?
Ndio unaonekana kwamba huyu mtu anahitaji msaada.
Yes, unaona? Sasa tunataka watu wajijue kwanza the way they are.
Yeah, self awareness is very important.
Yeah, I think also people don't know how to differentiate stress and depression.
Exactly.
Stress is usually, I think, in my opinion, stress is usually just something for short time.
Yes.
Maybe you have an exam and you've not
And you're
studied.
stressed out.
And
You can't
it's
say
okay.
you're depressed.
And it's okay to have stress. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to have stress. So your depression, in some way, it's bad because it can lead you to do other things.
It's more, it's
You can
it's
even just kill
dangerous.
yourself because of it.
Yeah.
So people don't know those. The
And before you
stress.
come to know it, it's like already late. Because most of the people maybe who have attempted suicide, most of them, when you go to like talk to them or interview them, they wouldn't tell you that they saw in themselves these symptoms. They would say that, this event happened to me and I thought of committing suicide. Maybe they had undergone a heartbreak, number one, and number two, maybe they had something in their life that was weighing them down and they couldn't handle it. So the first thing they thought about was suicide. But when you go and just look at his or her lifestyle or the way they carry out their routines, you may find that there are other underlying issues that led to that suicide, not exactly the event of maybe heartbreak or other things.
So it's
There are other
maybe thoughts
underlying,
that are,
yeah,
like,
there are other
influencing.
underlying issues.
Sometimes before we reach, because nimesikia reaches to suicidal thoughts. I think before it reaches there, because you cannot find a stranger and umwambie you are depressed, or you cannot look at a stranger. It starts with us. So the people unajua your friends, you know your siblings, you know how they are, umeshinda na wao. So I think we know how they behave.
Yes.
For us to know if they're depressed or the signs, we can just monitor their signs. We don't have to sit until it reaches that point someone tells you I'm thinking of killing myself or doing this. I think us near us, when you tuko karibu now, because everything starts at home, charity begins at home. So you start with the person, you just monitor your friends. Like today I can see, Ali, you're not okay, you're not talking, what's wrong?
You're
Khadija,
like looking out
you're
for
not
each other.
eating, you are that girl who cannot leave food alone. Why you're not eating today?
Yeah, that's a good example.
Aisha, you like talking, you cannot see me sitting like this. We can start with us, and I think we are our friends keeper.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it can
looking
start
out for
with
each other is
looking
very
out for each
important.
other.
Before we start solving pole.
Yeah,
Before we start
okay.
solving so nimeona kuna kitu kimeongelewa hapa. Some of you have said that kuna tofauti ya stress na depression.
Yeah.
And kulingana na vile ambavyo mmesema, suicide is at the extreme end.
Yes.
But then nini kinafanyika hapa katikati? How can you tell the difference between you being stressed about something and you being depressed? Ile where do we draw the line?
Okay, let me tell you.
Okay.
So stress, as vile nimemwambia, stress kila mtu ako nayo.
Ndio.
Yeah. Of course, labda ukitoka umechelewa, unasema kwa nini imechelewa? That is a stress, umejipea. Yaani unafikiria kwa nini imechelewa? Mbona gari haijakuja kunichukua nini na nini? But the more you overthinking about that, inaendelea inakuja mpaka inakuwa yani I need to napenda kuambia watu that stress is there. So please train yourself. Yani ikija ujifundishe kuitoa in a positive way, kwa sababu itakuwa hapo mpaka siku ile utakufa. It will be there, that stress. So the more ikija, hata wale wako na magari, mapesa, they have stress, wako na stress. So ikikuja, train yourself, uisahau, uendelee na mambo mengine. You see, isikuje ili mpaka ufikirie vitu vingine, ili to depression. Hapo katikati sasa, the more you overthinking,
how deep you go.
The more you overthink, how deep you go, as you say, ndo inakuja ina lead to depression. I think to me it's like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
To me, I think there is positive stress and negative stress. Positive stress is the one that niko na exam kesho na sijasoma. So what does that make you? Inafanya I need to start
I think
perusing
your
my
stress
book.
umejiekea mwewe. Kwa nini hujasoma?
No, but it is there. It
But
is.
it should be there.
Okay, hata kama
Hata kama
nimejiekea
ulisoma like 2 weeks ago, bado utakuwa na stress.
sijamaliza kusoma. I've not prepared
So that's a
enough.
positive
Even if
one.
you pre-
Hey,
That's a positive.
It's a positive
That's a
stress.
I don't think it's a
stress.
positive
How is
one.
stress positive?
There is a positive stress and there's a negative stress.
Wow, okay.
Positive stress, I can say it is the one that is temporary, you see? And then where we draw the line of stress and depression is where the negative stress comes in.
Okay.
And negative stress, depression is long term, I can say, because stress is something temporary. You can do away with it. There is positive, negative. Positive, okay, let me call it temporary. Temporary is that you can solve it if you want it. Tomorrow I'll be late to work. So you put your alarm ile mapema, you go to work. You see, that is temporary stress. You can deal with it. But negative, I'm talking about unemployment.
Yeah. Financial.
Yeah, I'm talking about your friends are getting married, you are reaching 40, you are not married.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
People get depressed because of that, you see. Now that is where we draw the line. Stress, I think you can manage it very easily because it is something, if we want to do it, we can do it. We can
It's
do
upon
away
us.
with the stress.
Yeah.
But when it comes to depression, it's something, sometimes it is beyond you. It is beyond your control.
The way you
For me, where to draw the line between stress and depression, I think there are different things where you can draw a line with them. Number two, the way he had discussed and the way the two Aishas have said, it's about period, long term or short term. Sawa. Stress tends to be a short term, and then depression tends to be
a
long term.
yeah.
And then the other thing that differentiates between stress and depression, I think stress is mainly inclined to a specific situation or circumstance that causes that stress.
Okay.
But depression, I think, a lot of underlying issues that causes that piles up to be the depression that it is. Stress inaweza kuwa na stress, niko na stress kwa nini nimechelewa job, niko na stress kwa nini sijasomea exam, kwa nini niko na stress sijapata something and something. But depression, for you to even notice that you have depression, there's a lot of underlying issues. Like if you for example undergo a situation, let's say wewe mtu amekuja akakuchokoza and then he or she said something that triggered a past event that made you feel the same way as the past. You see, that was an underlying issue that you didn't solve, but then sasa the same situation may happen to you at the present time and you still feel the same way. You see, those are the small tiny bits, underlying situations that lead to depression.
Listen,
for stress,
Adija,
I think it's just temporary, and then it exactly depends on a specific circumstance or situation. Stress, of course, a lot of stresses will eventually lead to what? Depression. But then before these stresses pile up to lead to depression, we're talking of this. You said where to draw the line, like stress, depression. Depression, maybe it's a compilation of a lot of stresses, and then stress on its own is like an easiness of a certain situation, like the way I've said, it's inclined to a specific circumstances that is happening to you. But yeah, it's a wide topic. It's a really wide topic.
Dulo, where will you draw the line between being stressed na sasa nimeanza kuwa depressed?
Okay, so I like Adija, the way Adija said, it's just, I think ni hiyo venye overthink, when you overthink about something. Unaweza kuwa you are unemployed, you know, and then unaanza kufikiria watoto watasoma aje, all those things. If you're like you have a partner and you have kids, so you overthink. You how will I pay my bills? How will I do this? And imeenda 1 week still thinking about the same thing. You're still thinking about the same thing. You're just stressed. Yes, you can look for a job na stress end, but now you're just in that one thing, the same way uko tu hapo unasema niko stressed, ikitu itakuwa aje. It's just overthinking. For me, it's overthinking. So stress, when you overthink ukalie sana, it's just that period yenye umekuwa na that stress can lead to depression.
Okay, kulingana na vile all of you have described what depression is, and where we draw the line between stress and depression. I have a question. Have you been depressed before? I love how all of you are getting cold feet.
Depressed. To me, no. I'm a person that I don't overthink. Sifikiri sana. The moment nakuwaga na stress, of course, mi nakuwaga na stress. Na nakaa nikifikiria basi sijiekagi sana. Yani ikinikujia, I know how to handle it. That's why mi napenda watu wajitrain. Ndo wasifike into depression. Okay. I know how to handle it. Na inifikishe huko na Mungu asinjalie isinifikishe huko. Okay, yeah.
For me, I think I'm more stressed than depressed. I'm usually more stressed out than depressed. Because when you're stressed out, you try to, like she said, like you try your best to solve that situation that's stressing you out. Because if you don't solve that specific situation that's stressing you out, it will eventually lead to what? Depression. So I don't think I've like reached to the end of the rope of depression. I don't think so. I've never really. No.
And what about you? What about you?
What about yourself?
Yeah.
Yes.
I genuinely think I've been depressed before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
Can you tell us the story?
Oh, you guys want the story?
Yeah, we're waiting.
Story time.
That's a lot. Just short and ifupishe kidogo ndo.
It's okay.
No,
So,
tell us the details. We're here for you.
Support.
Yeah.
I think I was depressed when I was around 18,
Yeah.
just when I was joining campus.
Yeah.
And it started out very easy. I was applying for different schools abroad. Nikafanya mitihani test and nilipata moderate marks. Yeah. Wengi ambao nilikuwa nafanya nao, some people had really impressive scores.
Yeah.
So kukawa na hiyo yenye unajiona yenyewe. Anyway, nikaendelea na application ya kwanza ikakuwa rejected. Alafu after hiyo kuwa rejected nikajoin to campus kawaida. Mtihani wangu wa kwanza hapa Kenya.
Yeah.
Mtihani wangu wa kwanza nikaanguka.
Yeah.
Takuanguka ikafuatana na breakup.
Okay.
So katika hiyo journey yote nilikuwa mimi mwenyewe naanza kujishuku. Mbona nimeanguka mtihani? Mbona wenzangu wamepata hii? Na mimi sijapata. Self esteem yangu ikafanya nini?
Ikashuka.
Nikajiona kama mimi mwenyewe maybe I have an issue. Why are all my friends going this? Why did she leave me for him? Why am I failing my exams? Was I really the same guy who passed in KCSE? Nikaanza kujiuliza maswali.
Questioning yourself.
Nikaanza question myself na ikafika wakati where I'd have a small misgiving. Maybe nimechelewa kufika mahali, ama maybe I couldn't make a certain appointment, ama I failed doing a certain task. Lakini juu nilikuwa nimeshaanza kujishuku kuanzia kitambo, I start relating this event to that. Maybe I did not get this job because enyewe I've been failing since, or maybe I was never good enough. Na katika hiyo hali ya kujifikiria kwamba I wasn't enough, katika hiyo hali ya kujiona kwamba there are better people for things and some things are not meant for me because of various reasons, I stopped talking to people because I didn't feel like I was worth it.
Yeah.
And there was a certain 7-month period where I stopped talking to
7
all
months?
my friends.
It's a long.
Did you know you were undergoing
I
depression?
did not know I was undergoing depression until way later.
Wow.
So for that 7-month period, I remember niliacha kujibu text, nikaacha kushika simu, and I went back to books.
Okay.
So what I would do is natafuta novel, nisome.
But
Na katika hiyo hali, I think I was just trying to escape my reality. Simply because I couldn't face a few issues about myself. I couldn't come to the fact that I failed in certain things. I started looking for a fantasy in books. So I remember hiyo time nilikuwa ninasoma sana. Na si ati nasoma kwa sababu napenda kusoma. Nasoma ndio distract from my current reality. So natafuta distractions which make me underperform a few things, which make me look for more distractions, na kukakuwa na hiyo back and forth. Yeah. And after 7 months, that's when I started like trying to reach out to friends, trying to listen to people, time I like in dating again, you know, start applying for opportunities, kwa sababu katika hicho kipindi chote sikuwa natafuta opportunities za kujijenga mwenyewe, sikuwa na reach out na marafiki. I wasn't even in the dating world kwa sababu mimi mwenyewe bado nilikuwa na vijiswali kujihusu. There were some things that I had not addressed about myself, and I did not want to let anyone help me address or hear them out, so I locked people out. Now, I think it affected a huge part of my early adult life. Now, it took a while kabla nianze mimi mwenyewe kuimprove. Vile sasa signs kama hiyo, kwa mfano kama kujitenga, kama kujinyamazia, zilikuja baadaye. Ilianza tu kama stress, a simple failure, and then another one. Ni vile sasa unaziconnect na vitu ambavyo haviko. You fail in something and then you think it's because you're not worthy, so you don't apply for more opportunities, ama you do something, you don't put enough effort in something which makes you fail again, which makes you think. Kulikuwa na hiyo back and forth ya vitu tofauti, na hivyo ndio vile nifanya ningia katika hiyo hali ya msongamano wa mawazo. And but I am fortunate. I am fortunate. I found myself mapema na sikufika extremes.
Can you say you overcame it, or you're still overcoming it?
Honestly, it's a fight that I'm still fighting. Siwezi sema kwamba nimetoka ile kutoka kabisa. Tofauti ni kwamba it's a journey. Tofauti ni kwamba at this point I know that iki kitu kikifanyika kitanitrigger. Na kikinitrigger, instead of thinking myself that I'm not worthy, I should sit down and analyze the reality here instead of connecting it to my past. Ama instead of connecting kitu ambacho nimefanyiwa ama kimefanyika to a certain insecurity of mine that I have not addressed.
That's really insightful.
That is my story.
That's really insightful.
Anyway, have you been depressed before?
Oh yes, I think thrice in my life. But I never knew I was undergoing depression, by the way, until I came to learn what is depression. Until my sister became a psychologist, a counselor. That's when I started reading her books, and I was like, kumbe I've undergone this thing and I never knew. So when it started, you see in primary, in high school, you're that girl who is always receiving the awards. And then your KCSE comes and you're like, what happened? Huh? Yani, huwezi sema ni nini kilifanyika. Your parents are like, msichana, nini, what are these? And you cannot explain it because you expected something. So there I was depressed. I can't remember for how long. I just lost weight. I was like, I wanted to repeat. My sister's like, we are done with that part. Tunasonga mbele, tunaona the next thing. And I'm like, no, this is not me. I need to go back. And if you go back, you'll just get either worse or the same than this. Compare, no, I cannot get the same. This is not. Compare, no, we move on. Tunasonga tukisonga. So I was that depressed, and I was like, oh, okay. And then this other time, I managed to go. Okay, I didn't fail per se. I didn't get what I aimed for. It wasn't a fail, but it wasn't what I aimed for. So, okay, I got the career I wanted, which actually I'm not doing it anymore. So I went, I was given school fees. It was 30K. I don't know what happened. By some chance, I bought credit of 30,000. That time there was no this service of Safaricom, unaweza reverse, unaweza fanya nini. So it was me there trying to sell 30K worth of credit to my friends.
How long did it take? Did it even end? Elisha. Elisha.
I don't know what happened. Because mtu atanunua ya 100 si umekula imeisha. Mtu ananunua ya 200 isapa imeenda hivyo. So it was like that. I couldn't tell. What led to depression is I couldn't talk to anyone about it. I couldn't tell my sister, I couldn't tell my mother, I couldn't tell anyone. So it was me battling my own battle. And if I could have said, actually I could have gotten help. Because people are like, you go to mtu wa duka unamuzia hii, kwanza mtu wa Safaricom mwenyewe, see there's the way they sell through the phone. So you could have talked to us, kitu ingekuwa easier, you see, but I died inside about it. And then after that we just closed school. My sister told me nimkalie kwa duka. She had an M-Pesa shop. And then I was conned 40,000 float money. So remember, I hadn't told anyone about the 30,000, and then there is this 40,000 over here.
You're at 70 now.
I'm like, okay, which year is this? That was my 2020.
Negative 70.
So it's
Wow.
2020 I already lived mine. So I underwent that. And then what Kenya inaniuma sana is the way I was conned with someone wearing suit, talking this posh English, like wearing this watch. You cannot, I didn't even see it coming. Unajua ndo kitu inakuuma sana. Like how couldn't I see this? And then I didn't know what to do. I started fluctuating in school. Bado nadaiwa fee shule huko nyumbani. I don't know what to do. So I failed my first year, a total fail. Ikaongeza stress. I couldn't even say it at home again. Because you know, when you fail, you have to repeat the whole year.
Yes.
So I'm like, another thing my mom has to pay na ile ingine ijalipwa. You can just imagine. And
Wow.
I don't know, 19 years. Oh my God. That was real stress. Niliwacha shule. Nikatafuta kazi.
Serious.
And imagine I was just a kid. 19, I'm supposed to be enjoying life. Just because I couldn't talk to anyone. I couldn't let people in my circle. No, that is my problem. And this was introvert. You just trying to solve your problem. If I tell Aisha, naona nakusumbua. Nikikwambia naona sasa sitaki kuwasumbua, nataka
you solve on your own.
Na hiyo sasa ndo depression ilikuja hapo. Huna raha, kitu yote ikifanyika, pesa yote unapata, unafikiria talipa vipi. And then one day I just decided, I don't know, after a year, I decided to talk about it, to tell my mother. I told my sister pesa yako ilipotea. Okay, she was mad, but she was understandable. But after today, of course, she's like, oh, najua ulipoteza pesa. Of course. It never ends, but I overcame it. Yeah, and then I've been depressed for long. And then there's this SWAS that came.
Yeah.
A breakup. I sat in my...
Imagine breakup. I
was in...
Yeah.
It was my first time. So I was in college.
No. Let's
I was in
let's
college.
fast.
I wasn't staying in campus, so I was renting outside. I stayed in my house for like 8 months, just there eating Indomie.
Wow, Aisha.
What?
No cooking, no, you don't even have the strength. And then, I don't know, that hiyo ndo fail pia ilikujia hapo, ile fail nilipata ilitokea pia hapo. Nobody knew, by the way, not my mother,
And you
not
weren't
my
telling
friend.
anyone?
Nobody knew I was dying inside, so it was just me and my demons. Na Indomie. But for now, breaker, come we go. Ni maisha.
You learn from it.
Sasa ni
You
maisha.
learn from it. Yeah.
You
Imagine
learn
me
from
sasa
it.
mimi uniambia hivyo. Break up. Come and go.
But you have, that first one, you just have to, the lesson comes the hard way. But now I'm that iron woman, I overcame. Now I know I cannot go to depression. I know when I'm stressed. Now when I'm stressed, I know when I wake up and I cannot make my bed, najita mkutano.
Unajua there's an issue.
Yes, we solve this problem here and here, and then we move on.
Okay,
So,
that's good.
yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's my story.
Okay, so for me it's a bit different. I can't say I've been depressed, but I can say I've been stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like when you live with relatives sometimes, so there's a time I was living with my relatives. So now then I broke up with someone that I was dating like for 3 years. So everything changes. The way you interact with people, like even just waking up to tell someone good morning. I usually say hi and all those things, but at that time I was just, why should I even say good morning? They can't help me at a...
True.
So
Like, just good morning, nakwambia tu. Nimeamka aje.
But hiyo kitu simple. Unaona the way simple it looks.
So umeona Aisha ameshindwa kunini bed yake.
So I was just niko tu hivyo, and I'm an artist. I couldn't even just express myself in painting or drawing. I was just there. It was just unaona ile flat iko tu hivi flat tu hivi. Yeah, so it was like that. So the problem in niongezea now kuwa stressed or kuwa depressed ni the way other people they how walikuwa now against me because they are like, you can't even wash dishes, you can't help in this thing, you can't empty the trash.
Yeah, they're easily to
judge. Yeah.
Wanaona ni kama it's just something that it's like you're ignorant or
ama you are changing for the worst. Mtu anabadilika.
They don't even take time. They don't even take time. Relatives are people like from far. Your family will be like, what's wrong? But sasa how walizidisha. Kwa hiyo the way they were behaving, because unaona msee anaongea kukuhusu, then they had a house help, then the house help is telling me how everything is going. They're like, hey bro, they are saying that you should move out. Like,
Okay.
unafaa utoke. Then when you talk to them about it, they are just like, it's okay, you can stay. People
pretenders,
narcissists.
And for me, rejection is just
Okay.
yeah. So for me, rejection is usually just something that can stress me like a lot. So how waliongezea to me stress? So I don't know if I was depressed. So with the breakup, I actually managed to work it out, but still, I was depressed at that time because of a breakup and then another issue from the relative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Watu wabaya.
Mtu hata hizi angalia tu wenyewe msee amechange kidogo.
What's wrong?
What's the problem?
You are arrogant, ama ignorant, ama sijui uko na madharau, lakini wajaangalia
Other
The
side of it.
underlying issue ni nini?
nini shida.
So the moment you are doing bad things, wanaangalia hiyo
The bad
thing is
the positive
or the cause of the
fanya,
bad
they don't hiyo wameisahau, sasa wanaangalia sasa hiyo mbaya kabisa. You see?
Which is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, lakini ngoja nikuulize swali. Unajua there are two ways to this, yeah?
Yeah.
Kwa mfano, mimi nikichelewa leo, si utaniuliza kwa nini nimechelewa, ama utasikia vibaya?
No, I will ask you.
Okay, I am happy you're heavenly. I would feel bad.
You feel bad if someone
If someone is late, if someone is late, like why are you late?
Imagine I will ask you in a right way. I will not shout or I will not do it. Why are you late? Kwani what's wrong? Kwa nini umechelewa? You see, I care. That's why I ask you. Because hiyo si tabia yako ya kuchelewa.
Ndio.
So tukijua tushamsa kazi yake ni kuchelewa tu, but the moment unakuja tu wewe ni mtu akuja mapema, but the moment unakuja kuchelewa, I will ask you, ni nini mbaya? Kwa nini umechelewa? I care. That's why I ask. So napenda wale ambao mtu akiambiwa kitu anakubali. Kubali unachomwa.
But ina depend unaambia with what tone.
That's why nimekwambia when I tell you that kwa nini umechelewa, I will not shout. I will kwanza nitakuita kwa ofisi yangu. Kwa nini umechelewa?
Ngoja. I feel like we are veering off the topic. Turudi kwa msongamano wa mawazo.
Msongamano.
Okay.
So bado based on our interactions with other people, na pia bado hizi story ambazo tumesikia hapa. What do you think you have done to overcome stress ama to overcome depression? Wewe at a personal level, wewe Aisha kiwewe. Ni jambo gani ambalo wewe mwenyewe umefanya tayari? Ukatoka katika hali ya stress ama ukatoka katika hali ya depression?
Okay, me first thing, if niko na stress, kitu cha kwanza mimi utawadha. I take udhu, then I pray 2 rakats. Because yeye ndo analitaga hizo stress. Allah, God. Of course nimekwambia stress itakuwa. Mpaka siku ile utakufa ndo itaishia, na huko mbele utakutana na nyingine huko. But in this world stress iko. So mi uomba Mungu anitolee it remove. Another thing, my hobby, penda kuongea sana. So when I talk, naongea nini, hata saa ingine naweza jiongelesha mimi peke yangu. Kuna time nikiwa stress naweza ongea English. Nikaongea Kizungu
On your own.
Naosha vyombo.
Hiyo si ni depression.
Not a depression. Imagine, not a depression.
That's how she solves her.
Mimi huwa ni hivyo. Ama sengine naweza leo nitamia music. Yani itoke tu inishe, but the first thing ni uomba Mungu. Praying. Ama nitoke niende out nikatembee, yani kwa relative, nitoke tu ndani ya nyumba, kwa sababu the more unakaa peke yako and then you start thinking and then overthinking, unakuta sasa inazidi kukua. So ukitoka, ukijitoa, umenipata? The more unatoka nje, labda leo nimekaa peke yangu kwa nyumba, nianza kufikiria, mimi natoka naenda Hamisa mko nyumbani, naenda huko. Sitaki kufikiria sana kwa sababu the more nitakuwa peke yangu, the more ndo itani trigger na nitafikiria vitu mingi. But the first thing ni kuomba Mungu, kwa sababu yeye ndo analeta hizi ni kama hizi stress ni kama mtihani. You see? So unakuta mtu akiwa na stress anaenda kunywa pombe, and that is Kiislamu haipendezi, unashika. Even Christian haipendezi. When you go and drunk, unalewa mpaka unaenda kupigana. You see? Ina little. So unakuta sasa kwa huyo mwenye kulewa ameenda in a negative way kutoa stress yake. That way I don't want to. Ndio maana ukiwa na stress, kuna hobbies, kuna watu wanapenda kupika. That wewe, the way uli overcome that depression, uli overcome in a positive way, because ulikuwa unasoma. Kwa nini ungetoka sasa ungeanza kwenda clubbing, then drugs? Kwa nini ulishika kitabu chao? Si ati ilikuwa mimi sipendi kusoma, but that is a positive way uli overcome that depression. Umeona? So si ati nini muziki, nikiimba na nini, si depression ambayo niko nayo, ni sitaki kuifikiria kwa sababu iko na kuna nyingine inaningojea.
Okay.
So train yourself. Yeah.
Khadija.
She has said everything. First of all, I'll just brief it. She talked about prayers. Prayers is always number one.
Yeah.
Is that what you do?
It's inclined to what she just said. Number one is just prayers. If I can't handle something and I know it's out of my hands, I'll have to pray about it. Number two, I'll have to look for ways to know how to deal with it. Like maybe changing routines, or still sitting down and looking into the issue and knowing where the problem is, where the underlying issue is. This is where the problem is, this is where I'm supposed to change. Change does not come abruptly, it has to be gradual, like pole step by step. And consistency in trying to just find ways on how to deal with this so that it does not escalate or make way detrimental to your life.
And other thing, people, they don't want to face their problem, and that is the bad thing.
Yeah, you have
face
to find
it, because zinakuja zingine. Si hiyo peke yake, just face it. It's here.
So ukisi escape mingi
Depression. This is a problem. Now it's here. Wacha nimalizane nayo kwa sababu I know si ati utaeka kwa kilako, kuna mashida you know very zitakuja.
Of course.
So the more unajua kwamba mashida zitakuja, so I know how to handle them in a positive way. Isili mpaka unakunywa pombe, you go to clubbing, you use drugs, those things. Yeah.
So
like
prayers, routine, like the way she said. And then the other thing is just talking it out, talking to different people and to the right people, and just sharing your problems, and they can help you solve it. Problem shared is problem solved. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I cry.
which is good.
Yeah.
I cry.
Another thing, even me, I cry.
Yeah, we do
I
cry.
tell you the story.
Yes,
So
we
I
do cry.
And then after I cry, now we have a meeting with myself.
Of course.
Of course, like I face myself. I face my life. I really get deep to the root of the problem, and I try to solve it if I can, because basically I don't think you can be given something that is beyond your control. You can be given something, usually it is always to give us some lessons in life.
Yeah.
So you try to see what you can do. And if I cannot deal with it, there's only one person I can talk to, or two people I can talk to. There's my sister and there's my mentor somewhere. So I run to them I talk to them, like, you know, and then after I've done all the things I need to do, for me, prayer becomes my last resolution.
Yeah.
So after I've cried, I've talked to people, I've tried solving my problems, and then now I go and pray. But before that, before I reach even there, I usually find a way to deal with it, to solve whatever I'm going through. But the best one I found is talking it out. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Nikikwambia nimefail mtihani, huna jela ya kunipeleka.
Especially if you're sharing it with the right people or your support system.
If I tell my mom siendo analipa fee, nimwambie mom, mi nimefail mtihani, atanifanya nini? Of course she'll be disappointed in a way, but nishamwambia atanipiga, atanipeleka jela wapi, atanifanyia nini? You see?
But let me tell you, but watu wamejiekea hiyo. Sasa hata nikienda kumwambia atanifanya nini? Hata nikimaliza. Na hiyo, that is not good.
It's being ignorant. Not ignorant. I used the wrong word. Not ignorant.
This is me.
Okay, that is you, but
I think hapa kuna there are two sides of it, yeah. Upande wako wewe unafikiria the worst case scenario kama kitu ambacho kitakufanya umwambie mtu.
Exactly.
Ina maana mimi hata nikikwambia utapiga kelele alafu itaishia. Alafu kuna wale watu ambao wanafikiria hata nikimwambia hata nisaidia alafu anajiekea. Kuna hizo pande.
Hiyo ni mbaya. Okay, so maybe it has both sides.
Hiyo ni mtu mmoja. Unaona, nikienda kuambia marafiki zangu, wale wataniweka kwenye kikao waniongee, hawatanisaidia. But nikienda kuambia the right people, they might help me. So you see, I decide how nitawaambia hakuna cha watanisaidia. Nikiambia at least I can get one or two insights that can help me.
So basically ina depend nani unaambia.
Who you are telling. That's why I say I only have two people.
But don't use that meaning you have said that. Nitawaambia then.
I mean, Aisha, it helps. It
just say it. Let me stop it. Just say that nitamwambia na atani kwa sababu, but don't use we are in the don't use that.
I think this conversation will continue offset.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Continue.
Okay.
I know what they are saying is somehow true. Huyu ni venye hajapata Kenya alikuwa, what I've understood from what she was saying.
Okay.
Have you ever had someone amejiua because amepoteza 500?
Yeah.
Unaget? So ingekuwa na hii thinking aseme tu hata nikiambia mom ama niambie dad, nini anaweza nifanyia? Nini kubwa sana?
Nikishafanya hivyo bila kujua sitafikia hapo.
Yes, of course. You need to get to sasa mimi nakwambia, let me tell you, kuna hii age yetu ya watoto like teenagers, adolescents, people now. So when they know they are doing something bad, wanajua tu mimi hapa acha nicheze na nitamwambia, najua atanichapa kwa sababu anachapwa kila siku. Najua nitamwambia atanichapa itaisha tu. Next time atafail tena nitachapwa tu. Then I will do it.
Solve.
You see, I hope you are getting me there.
I get what
you see.
Okay, you've said adolescents. As we are young adults.
Mimi nimesema. Okay.
I think when you say don't take it easy when it's like usichukulie easy alafu sio
kwa mazoea.
Maybe hiyo ilikuwa accident.
Let us go back to ourselves. Nataka turudi kwa experiences. Wewe mwenyewe ulifanya nini?
Yeah, me was talking personally.
Sasa ndio ningependa tuendelee na hapo.
Okay.
Let's go to
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I never advise him to take it easy, but I usually don't take it easy.
Advice is easy.
And also we are humans. Most of the people say the first thing I do is pray. But most of the people in Ansemanga hivyo, the first thing they do is to worry and cry. All those things.
Of course I cry.
You know you can be crying while praying. You can be praying while doing all those things.
Let us not fire shots.
Prayers can happen in different ways.
Let's not fire shots.
You see,
prayers can happen in different. You can be praying and crying and whining at the same time.
This is him talking.
I know he has projected it to us.
No, not really.
Guys.
In general, people say, oh, I pray.
And they don't do that.
Kuna wase wanna take action.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'd rather talk to, if it's something to do with my family, I'd rather talk to strangers. Like someone that I've met. Kama nyinyi vile tumepatana nyinyi. I talk to someone and be like, what do you think about this? Ama, I can just take this story but I say ni rafiki yangu anapitia
Asking
hivi.
for
Unaweza muadvise aje?
I think all of us have done that.
So if you do that unapata like kuna msee ashapitia the same experience kama wewe. So unaweza kuambia hii ndio imekufanyikia. This is what we do. This is what you do when this happens. So I think just find the right
Talking
people.
out and talking.
But me, I will love family should be the first one to tell your problems, sindio?
But in a depend what relationship you have with your family.
Yani that sindo nasema, yani ningependa yani familia iko ya kwanza kuambia shida zako kuliko kutoka nje. Lakini unakuta ni tofauti. Umeona?
Sometimes.
Yani tofauti. Unaweza waambia shida kawaida, anapenda sana. Unasikia mtu anataka kujua, kazi yake ni kujua. Kila siku anasema anataka kujua. You see, they think that.
Families wengine wanachukua kama anasema usijue atuondokee basi.
Imagine.
Likely ndio ujichukulie hivyo.
Ama wanaenda kupeleka kwa pastor wa kuombea and there's an underlying issue.
I usually prefer talking to someone that anijui vizuri. Unaona? So ukimuexplainia anaweza empathize na wewe. But someone that knows you atasema wewe,
they'll first of all judge you.
Don't have cash is because so ulikata ile kazi ulipewa.
Imagine. And you don't want that job.
I think kuna vitu tofauti ambavyo vimejitokeza hapo.
Yeah.
Lakini one of the things that stands out of everything that you've shared here is talking to someone.
Yeah.
Wewe unazungumza na Mungu. You go to God and you pray. Na unaamini kwamba ukisha swali ama ukishaomba unasaidia.
But other thing, I talk to someone.
Na pia bado unazungumza na watu.
Na mtu, yeah.
Alafu kuna wale ambao wanakaa chini anajizungumzisha yeye mwenyewe, alafu anazungumza na watu.
Yeah.
Na katika hii hali ya kuzungumza na watu there are different people who can help you. Not everyone can access help from family.
Of course.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And not everyone can access help from friends.
Strangers.
Lakini talking to someone regardless of who it is inasaidia
Kabisa.
Now I'd like us to put a pin on this conversation there. Thank you so much for coming to us and talking to us about depression. Sisi bado hapa Nivishe we have counselors, and in case you feel like you want to talk to someone, we have a phone number that we're going to post on the comment section. Feel free to talk to us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for engaging us in this talk about depression. Guys, we'd like to hear from you. Comment, like, subscribe, share. See you next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.
If you'd like more episodes of Nivisha Chat Corner, please subscribe to our Nivisha Foundation YouTube channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos.